Even our cities aren't built for cold. Roads would fracture. Power grids fail. Food chains collapse. As growing seasons shorten, billions could be displaced not by floods, but by frost. Visuals of highways cracking from extreme cold, long lines at shuttered grocery stores, planes grounded by ice storms, refugees walking across white wastelands toward uncertain warmth. Some scientists argue we've entered a new epoch altogether, one dominated not by ice, but by us, the Anthropocene. In this age, our decisions determine whether Earth burns or freezes. But Earth may still have the last word. Fade to deep space. The Earth is just a glowing blue spark in the black. Then cut to massive timescales, hundreds of thousands of years unfolding like pages in a book. Ice comes, then goes, then comes again, like breath. So, when is the next ice age coming? Not today, not tomorrow. But maybe, sooner than we think. And when it does, it won't arrive like an avalanche. It'll come as snow that never melts, rain that turns to ice, summers that grow short and silent. The final visual, a child in the distant future looking out of a frosted window. Snow falls in slow motion. Somewhere, a bell tolls. And that's the haunting truth. Our world isn't as stable as we like to believe. Whether we burn it or freeze it, it's changing. The next ice age is not science fiction. It's a certainty. The only mystery is when. If you found this journey into Earth's frozen future chilling, be sure to like this video and subscribe to Beyond Stars. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next chapter in our journey through the cosmos and the catastrophes waiting beneath our feet. Your curiosity fuels our exploration. Stay curious, stay cold, and stay watching. Leela pulled off her jacket and inched closer, trying not to startle the mama cat. The kittens were mewing more now, their cries like tiny alarms begging to be heard. The mama didn't flee. She couldn't. Instead, she let her eyes speak, pleading, exhausted, almost apologetic. Leela saw it all in a glance, the hunger, the desperation, the silent scream for help. "It's okay," Leela whispered. "You're not alone anymore." The rescue wasn't easy. Leela had to wrap the mama cat gently, carefully collecting each kitten and placing them into her jacket pocket. One of the kittens, a gray one with a patch over one eye, wasn't moving. Leela's heart sank. She pressed a finger gently against its tiny ribs. Nothing. But just as she turned to go, a faint twitch, barely there, a flicker of movement. It was still alive, but fading fast. Leela raced home through the rain, her boots splashing in puddles as thunder chased her down the street. She didn't stop until she burst through her apartment door, dripping water all over the floor. She had no time to worry about the mess. She spread out towels, turned on a space heater, and laid the kittens in front of it, cradling the mother in her lap. The mama cat was barely conscious. Leela used a syringe to drip water into her mouth, then soaked a towel in warm water and gently rubbed the kittens, one by one, to stimulate their circulation. The gray one, she named him Pirate, was the weakest. His breathing was shallow, his tiny limbs stiff. Leela didn't sleep that night. She stayed by their side, rotating warm bottles of water, rubbing cold limbs, Googling everything she could about neonatal kitten care. And then, as the sky lightened into morning, the tiniest cry came from Pirate. It was weak, but it was there. The next few days were a blur of warming lamps, vet visits, and late-night feedings. The mama cat, now named Stormy, began to recover. Slowly, her eyes lost their haunted look. She let Leela clean her, feed her, help her nurse her kittens. A bond formed, one that neither of them had expected. But something was off. By day 5, Leela noticed Stormy wasn't nursing Pirate. He was being nudged aside, and he wasn't growing like the others. She took him to the vet again, and the news hit hard. Pirate had a cleft palate. He couldn't suckle properly. If he didn't get special care, he wouldn't survive. For most, this would be the end, but not for Leela. She bought special syringes, learned how to feed him safely drop by drop, and kept him close in a wrap around her chest. Pirate fought. Every day, he got a little stronger. His siblings grew too tiny. The smallest of the litter, was now the most curious. Luna, the fluffest, had a habit of sleeping on Stormy's back, and Blaze, the orange one, would climb everything like a wild explorer. Leela panicked. She searched all night, calling, whistling, shaking a box of treats. Nothing. By morning, her voice was hoarse. She posted online, alerted every rescue group she knew, even hung up flyers. But hours turned into days. The kittens grew restless. They cried often. Pirate refused to eat the first day Stormy was gone. It was like he knew. Leela tried everything, even leaving Stormy's blanket outside the window. On the third night, just as hope began to crack, she heard a faint, familiar meow. Not loud, but close. Leela scrambled to the fire escape and looked down. There, under a bush, soaked and scared but alive Stormy. She was limping, her left paw injured, but she was calling back. It took an hour and a can of tuna, but eventually Stormy crept back into Leela's arms. Her body was scratched, her fur matted, but her eyes, those eyes held fire again. She hadn't abandoned her babies. She'd been trying to get back to them all along. The reunion was heartbreaking. Stormy curled around her kittens like she'd been gone a lifetime. Pirate nuzzled against her chest, even though he couldn't feed like the others. She licked each of them, over and over, until they all fell asleep in a tangled pile of warmth and forgiveness. Weeks passed. The kittens opened their eyes, then their hearts, then the world around them. One by one, they learned to walk, then run. Pirate, against all odds, became the most fearless. His cleft palate required surgery, but a local vet offered to do it for free after hearing the story on a viral TikTok Leela had posted. Yes, viral. The rescue story, with videos of Pirate's first meow, Stormy's return, and the soaked, shaking alleyway where it all began, captured hearts everywhere. People sent donations, shared messages of hope, even offered to adopt the kittens. Tiny found a home with a retired nurse who called her a healing miracle. Luna was adopted by a young girl recovering from surgery. Blaze went to a family of hikers who promised to take him on every adventure. But Stormy and Pirate stayed with Leela. Their bond was too deep, their scars too raw. Pirate's surgery was successful. He now purred louder than any cat Leela had ever met. Stormy, once abandoned and betrayed, now slept at the foot of Leela's bed, never far from her son. The rain that once threatened to end their lives had, somehow, brought them all together. Like this story. Hit that like button, subscribe for more heart-touching rescues, and share this video with someone who needs a little hope today.